very important paper. He had to write a very important paper. And the paper was on the benefits of laughter. His paper was called Laughter is the Best Medicine. And when he was researching his paper, he found out that people actually were able to heal themselves. A man named Norman Cousins, he was sick and they didn't know what he had. They didn't know what kind of disease he had, why he was sick. He thought he got sick from the fumes, from the diesel fumes from trucks when he was over in Germany in a motel. And when he came back, he thought the fumes from the truck had made him sick. So people are popping up on the screen. So that's okay. As long as you can still see me, that's okay. So Norman Cousins wrote a book called Anatomy of an Illness, and Dr. Kataria had read the book. And in the book, Mr. Cousins was in the hospital and they couldn't find out what was wrong with him. So he started eating natural foods and eating plant-based and got rid of all the junk. His wife grew a garden for him so he could eat healthy food. And he ended up asking, he still wasn't cured. And then he realized that it was not only the food that was making a difference, but he felt better when he was watching funny shows on TV in the hospital room. They even made a movie about him too. And he watched a lot of funny videos and he would laugh and laugh and laugh. And that made him eventually, he found out that he got better and he cured himself through natural food and by laughing. So we're going to do a little exercise together and I'm going to show you the benefit of laughter yoga. Now, there's different exercises. There's plenty of, look at this book. This book is full of exercises of laughter yoga, but we're just going to try out a few. Now, in between the exercises, we go like this. Very good. Clap our hands. Very good. Very good. Yay! Very good. Very good. Yay! Okay. Very good. Very good. Yay! I want to see all the children. I only see myself. Ah, there we go. Yes. So very good. Very good. Yay! Now, one form of laughing, we go ha, ha, ho, ho, he, he. Ha, ha, ho, ho, he, he. I think maybe you should turn off your mic and that way just follow me and listen to me and I'll trust that you're doing it because if we all do it, it's going to like mess up and get all scrambly. So just, I can see your mouths and see if you're doing it with me, okay? This is one of the first exercises. Ha, ha, ho, ho, he, he. Then we ha, ha, ho, ho, he, he. Then we breathe in through your nose, take in air through your nose and blow out through your mouth. That's the yoga part of it, right? Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And one thing about laughter yoga is we get to use our imagination. But we're going to try 3 exercises that I really like. One is called laughter cream. You get to pretend that you have a jar of laughter cream in your hand and you dip into the laughter cream and you rub it and you go, ha, ha, ho, ho, he, he. Ha, ha, ho, ho, he, he. Ha, ha, ho, ho, he, he. Very good, very good. Yay! Very good, very good. Yay! Okay, now we have another one that's a lot of fun. I'm going to make my screen big so I can see everybody. This is called clam laughter. And this is how you do it like this. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Oh, hee hee hee. Your hand so. Ha 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 ha. Ho 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 ho. Hee hee hee. You ready again? Let's go. Ha 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 ha. Ho ho ho. Very good. Very good. Yay. Very good. Very good. Yay. All right, here's one more. Here's one more. The phone laughter. Okay. This is your phone, your cell phone, and someone calls you up. Ring, ring, the phone rings, and they tell you a funny story. You can fake it. Make it till you fake it. Come on. Very good. Very good. Yay. Very good. Very good. Yay. So there you have it. You have the basics to laughter yoga. They are over. There's so many exercises in this book here. You won't believe it. All different kind of exercises. You use your imagination. You make up different things to do with your hands. And like I say, you can always go to YouTube and look up Dr. Kataria, and he has lots of exercises that you can do. And you can see children all around the world are doing this. They have policemen doing it before they go out to police their neighborhoods, because it relieves stress and it makes you feel better, even if you're not telling a joke. So that is a little bit of laughter yoga. My program is LOL for real. And I've had so much fun. Usually when I go to the schools with the children, I use it as an icebreaker and get them to circle up. And it's really a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoy that little bit of laughter yoga. Well, you know, when I tell stories, I like to have a little song in between each story to let people know that the story ends and I'm moving on to the next story. I have a friend named Susan Salador. She makes up a lot of stories for children. She's on YouTube, and she said, Oni, I said, I like your song. The one I sang earlier, I got stories, songs in my head. Guess what I can do? I got stories, songs in my head. I'm gonna tell some to you. So where we're gonna go next in the Story Village is we're gonna visit Southeast Africa, where there's a saying called Ubuntu. Now, Ubuntu it has the same meaning as Namaste. And you know what Namaste means, right? Yes. Well, Ubuntu is in Zimbabwe and in South Africa. And I'm sure you've heard of a man called Nelson Mandela.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Nelson Mandela was a great freedom fighter in South Africa, and he grew up under Ubuntu, which is a form of Namaste, just like you grew up under Namaste, and you see people in you, you acknowledge peace in the person, you honor the person you see, right? So this is a little song called Ubuntu. And I wrote the song because I was locked down in COVID and I couldn't get to see any of my kids, all the children I like to go and visit at the schools. And I was thinking about how I could do something for them to let them know that they're loved and we're all in the same boat together and that I love them and that I want to teach them about Ubuntu. So here's the song, and I'm going to sing it a song that I wrote, and then I'm going to tell you the story of Ubuntu. You ready? You ready?
Yes,
Thumbs
ma'am.
up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, here it is. Hey, hey, can you hear the music? Hey, Ubuntu, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, we are because I am. In this world together, our human family, to care for one another in peace and harmony. I am your Aunti Oni, you are my special friend. I'm here to tell you stories from beginning to the middle and the end. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, we are because I am. So happy to see you. You bring me so much joy to tell you stories and hope that you want more. Since we're here together, let's brighten up our day. And you can tell my stories in your own special way. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, we are because I am. So happy to see you. You bring me so much joy to tell you my stories and hope that you'll want more. Since we're here together, let's brighten up my day. And you can tell our stories in your own special way. Namaste, namaste, I am because we are. Namaste, namaste, we are because I am. Love, caring, hope, sharing, and empathy. I see myself in you. Do you see yourself in me? Ubuntu, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Namaste, namaste, we are because I am. Love, caring, hope, and sharing, and empathy. I see myself in you. Do you see yourself in me? Ubuntu, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, we are because I am. Love, sharing, hope, and caring, and empathy. I see myself in you. Do you see yourself in me? Namaste, namaste, I am because we are. Namaste, namaste, we are because I am. So happy to see you. You bring me so much joy to tell you some stories and hope that you'll want more. Ubuntu. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oni, can we have this Ubuntu? Can we do this once again? The children seem to be enjoying it so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Yeah.
Yes,
Once
ma'am.
more.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
Once
Yes,
more.
ma'am.
What? What you say?
Once more. Once more.
Ma'am.
I'm breaking the sweat over here.
They were all enjoying it so much.
Let me tell you the story of Ubuntu.
Okay.
All right. And then if there's time, we'll go on to, well, I'll do it again at the end.
All right.
The story of Ubuntu is an South African folk tale. Once there was an anthropologist. We'll call him Mr. Anthropologist. And we call him Mr. Anthropologist is because he travels the world and studies the cultures of other people. So Mr. Anthropologist, he left the West. The West is America, United States. And he decided that he was going to conduct an experiment. And he wanted to travel to Southeast Africa. Well, he got on a plane from New York and he flew over the pond to England. And from England, he flew about 9 hours down to a country in Africa called Zimbabwe. When he reached Zimbabwe, he rented a car and he decided he was going to drive through the countryside. He didn't want to stay in the city of Harare, in the capital of Harare, because he thought he'd go further into the countryside where he'd meet the real people and not just the city folks. So he rented a car and he looked on the map and he said, this sounds like a nice place to visit, Bulawayo. Bulawayo, yeah, Bulawayo. So he decided to drive to Bulawayo, which is the second largest city in Zimbabwe. So he's driving along, and as he leaves the skyscrapers of the tall city buildings, he's driving along and he finds himself going into the countryside. And in Zimbabwe, all the animals, the giraffes, the tigers, the lions, well, I don't think they have tigers there, but the lions and the giraffes and the elephants, they're on a reserve. So as he's driving along, he's noticing all the animals, how beautiful they're on this reserve, like a safari. So he drives past and finally he reaches the city of Bulawayo. Well, he gets out and the people are walking around, and he gets out of his car and he says, excuse me, sir, can you tell me where is the primary school? So a fella says, yes, I can tell you where the primary school is, sir. You just go up the road, take a right, take a left, take a right, take a left, turn around the corner and go up the street, and there you'll find the primary school. So he got back in his car and he drove up the road, and he turned right and he turned left and he turned right and he turned left, and he went up the corner and he went around the corner, and there was the primary school. But he stopped and he saw an open market. And the market, they were selling vegetables and fruits. And he ran to the market and he got a big basket of mangoes. Do you like mangoes? I love mangoes.
Very much.
Do you have mangoes in India?
Yes.
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 We have all varieties of mangoes.
Yes. Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
you have mangoes in India?
Yes.
Yes, we have different
Yes, ma'am. On
varieties.
summer season, there will be a lot of mangoes.
Yes. I love curry mango. You eat curry mango? I love curry mango. I have some Indian friends in Trinidad, and they always make me curry mango when I come to Trinidad. They know I'm going to take a big jar home. So anyway, he goes to the market, he buys a big basket with, maybe 2 or 3 dozen of mangoes. And he carries the basket and he takes it down by the big baobab tree, and he puts it at the bottom of the baobab tree. A baobab tree is a huge tree, thousands of years old, and it gives a lot of shade. And this baobab tree was right outside the schoolyard. So he goes up to the schoolyard and he knocks on the door. And the secretary answers, how can I help you, ma'am? Sir, can I help you? Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Mr. Anthropologist, and I have come to conduct an experiment with your children, if you don't mind. Oh, well, sir, you have to wait and you have to check with the principal first. Okay, I'll wait. So the secretary, she goes into the principal's office, Mrs. Chukumboro. And Mrs. Chukumboro comes out to meet the gentleman. What can I do for you, sir? Oh, sir, good afternoon, madam. I am Mr. Anthropologist. Yes. And I have come all the way from America, and I want to conduct an experiment with your children. Oh, really, sir? Do you have any ID? Are you vaccinated? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am. Here's my passport, and here's my credentials. And yes, I am vaccinated. Okay, well, the children will soon be coming out to lunch, and at that time you can conduct your game or your experiment. At that time, you can play the game with them, okay? Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So he walked out of the office, and just as he walked out the office, the school bell rang, and the children came running out. Oh, sir, we're ready to play your game, sir. We're ready to play your game. They were so excited. Oh, yes, children, line up on each side of me, please. Line up, get in a line, a single line. All right, we're going to play a little game. And what we'll do, you see that basket of mango over there underneath the baobab tree? Yes, sir, yes, we see it. Yes. Well, the first one of you that can reach the basket at once can have the basket and all the mangoes for themselves. Oh, really? Okay, sir. It's a race. But remember, the first one that reaches the basket could have them all. All right? Oh, yes, sir. Okay, all right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, are you ready, children? Yes, we're ready. In your march, get set, go. And the children took off running. And they were holding hands. The older ones were holding the little ones' hands. And they ran and they reached the basket at the very same time. The oldest child, Umoja, her name means unity in Swahili. Umoja, she reached into the basket and she took out a mango and she passed it on to her friend to the right of her. Then she reached in the basket and she took out another mango and she gave it to her friend to the left of her. And her friend on the left of her passed it next to his friend. And they passed that mango down until everybody had a mango. Do you believe it? There was just enough mangoes in that basket for every single child. Oh, they held on to their mango. They smelt it. It was smelling so good and juicy and sweet. They sat down in a circle on the grass and they wiped the mango, cleaned it off on their clothes and wiped it. And they bit into the mango and the juice just came down and licking it. And it was so sweet and so nice. And they all were laughing and giggling with each other, eating the mango. Oh, it was delicious. They looked up and there was Mr. Anthropologist. He was angry. He was mad. He was vexed. And he ran down to the circle of children and he stood up over them and he looked down on them. What is this? Why are you all eating up the mangoes? Didn't I tell you that the first child to reach the basket could have all the mangoes and the basket for themselves? What are you doing? It is a race. Well, Emoja, she stood up and she looked Mr. Anthropologist in his eyes and she said, "Excuse me, sir, but how can one of us be happy and the rest of us would be sad? It is Ubuntu. It is our way. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, we are because I am. In this world together, a human family, to care for one another in peace and harmony. I am your Aunti Oni. You are my special friend. I'm here to tell you stories from beginning and the middle and the end. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, we are because I am. Ubuntu, namaste. I got stories, songs in my head. Guess what I can do? I got stories, songs in my head. I'm gonna share them with you. You can Google Ubuntu on YouTube and see the story. There's an animated version of the story. And you can see the story on YouTube, the Ubuntu story. All right. Well, my next story for you is about crisis management. What do you like to do? Do you like to plan ahead? Or do you think fast? Or do you wait and see? Huh? Well, I don't know if we're using the chat or not, but I think I would like to hear some voices. Huh? Anybody want to speak up before I go into the next story?
Children, you may answer, Auntie, please.
Are you the type, do you like, let me say it again. Do you like to think fast? Do you like to plan ahead? Or do you like to wait and see?
I like to plan ahead.
How many like to plan ahead?
Me. I like to plan ahead.
You guys are too smart for me. I don't even know if I could tell you this story. You're just too smart. Oh, this little story is a short little story. And I like telling short stories that at the end you go, aha. And I like telling stories that you can remember and you can retell as well. This story is a story, it's for crisis management. It's a story for adults too. It's not just for children. It's called Three Fish in a Pond. Once there was 3 fish in a pond. That's a little lake, you know, in a pond. And the name of the first fish was Plan Ahead. The name of the second fish was Think Fast. And the name of the third fish was Wait and See. Well, they were swimming around in the pond. The sun was shining in the pond. It was a beautiful sunshiny day. And they were just having a great old time. Oh, plan ahead, think fast, and wait and see. Oh, they were enjoying themselves in the pond, swimming about, till suddenly it got dark. And they looked up. And they saw 2 men standing over the pond, looking down into the pond. The 2 men were blocking out the sun. And they looked down at the pond, and the 3 fish, they heard them speak. One man said, "Wow, look at them 3 fishes in the pond. Let's come back tomorrow and cast our net. We're gonna have us some fish." And the other man said, "Sounds like a good idea to me." And then they walked away. And the sun came back out into the pond, but the 3 fish were scared. Plan Ahead, she said, "I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna swim upstream tonight." And she did. Think Fast, he turned to Wait and See. He said, "Oh, wait and see. I'm sure I'll think of something when the time comes. They might not even come back tomorrow." Wait and See. "You know what? Think Fast, you got a point. They might not even come tomorrow. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens." And they just swam and swam and swam and had a good old time. Well, the next morning, the fishermen came down to that pond and they threw a big net in the pond. Plan Ahead, she was gone. She had swam where? Up the river. When the fishermen pulled that net out of the pond, Think Fast and Plan Ahead was in the net. Think Fast and Wait and See was in the net. Think Fast went, ah, and he got real stiff. And he played like he was dead. The fisherman looked and said, "Hey," he lifted Think Fast out that net and said, "This fish is dead." Threw him back in the pond. Think Fast went, he swam away. They pulled the net in, and guess what? Wait and See. Wait and See ended up down at the market, and he ended up that very night on somebody's dinner plate for a real happy family. So in times of trouble, when the net is cast, you better plan ahead or plan to think fast. I got stories, songs in my head. Guess what I can do? I got stories, songs in my head. I'm gonna share them with you. Who can tell that story? Who can tell that story over, huh? Can you tell that story? Huh? Raise your hand. Who can tell that story? That's the easy story to tell. That's right. Come on, come on. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. That's a good story to tell. All you have to do is write down, plan ahead, think fast, wait and see. And the beauty of storytelling is you don't always have to tell it the same way. You can make up your own style of telling it. As long as you remember, plan ahead, think fast, wait and see. Those are the three characters in the story. And then you can just tell it in your own way. The beauty of storytelling is you don't have to memorize a story. All you have to do is know your story. You know, have it visualized in your mind. You study it a couple of times, you read it a few times, you read it a few times, you practice a little bit, but you're never going to tell the story the same way. So you have to know that the story is the star. And if you really love the story, you'll be able to tell it again. Just think of those characters. Plan ahead, think fast, wait and see. 3 fish in a pond. You want another story? Do you want to hear a story? Yes, you do.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you want to hear a story? Give me a
Yes,
thumbs up.
ma'am.
Want
Yes,
another
ma'am.
story? Give me a thumbs up. Do you want another? Okay. Yeah. Come on now. All right. This is a riddle story. And I want you to either write in the chat or either I want you to say it. I'm talking too loud because my husband's sleeping, but I want you to write in the chat if you know the riddle, okay? This is a riddle story and it's called One Coin. And it's from a place called Kashmir. Kashmir is in Eastern Asia. It's not far from India. You know where Kashmir is? Kashmir?
Kashmir, Oni,
Yes.
Kashmir is in India.
India only.
Yeah, it's a part of
Hey,
India.
see, I knew I learned something from you guys. I didn't know that. I thought it was its own country between Pakistan and in India.
No, it's
Well, this
part of
is a
India.
story called One Coin. You might know the story. I like this story because it's a riddle. And you can hear it. It's on my podcast. And I have some really cool music underneath, like a hip hop music beat underneath it. And it's real cool. So when you go to Aunti Oni Story Village, look for One Coin and you'll hear the music. And I love it. I love putting music to my stories. Okay, so once there was a very rich farmer. He had a cow farm and he took care of his cows with great care. And he was a hardworking farmer. He was a widow. His wife was no longer with him and he only had one son. And he was worried what would happen when he had passed on, what would happen to his farm. Well, you see, his son was kind of lazy. He didn't like to work. And when his father asked him to do things, he would never want to do as he was told. So his father, after many years, was so fed up with him being such a disobedient son that one day he decided to put him to the test. So he called his son in. He said, listen, I will give you this one coin and I want you to go into town and find something to eat, something to drink, something to feed the cows, and something to plant in the garden with this coin. And if you cannot buy those 4 things for me with this coin, do not come back home. Well, the son, he couldn't believe it. He knew his father was very strict, but then he thought his father must be crazy. How can he give me one little coin to buy all those things and then tell me I cannot come home? He must be mad. Well, he took the one coin and he put it in his pocket and he set off into town. But he was so stressed. He didn't know what to do. And he started feeling so sad. How would he get those things with this one little coin? And he started to cry. And he sat down underneath a tree on the side of the road and he put his head down and he was crying and crying so loud that a young girl came up to him and she asked him, "Why are you crying?" Well, she had come across the road from a farm where her parents owned. And so he looked up and told her, "My father gave me one coin and he told me I must find something to eat, something to drink, something to feed the cows, and something to plant in the garden. And I don't think I can do it. And if I can't do it, I cannot go back home." Well, the girl looked in his hand. "Let me see your coin." And he showed her his coin. "I can help you if you give me the coin." So he gave her the coin. "Come with me." She put the coin in her pocket and she ran across the road and he ran after her. And when she ran into the field, she picked up a wheelbarrow and she ran deeper into the field with the wheelbarrow. And the young man went running behind her. And there in the ground was big fruit growing on a vine. And he helped her pick up the fruit. They filled up the wheelbarrow. One fruit, two fruit, three fruit, four. Oh, until the wheelbarrow was full of fruit. The fruit was round and green and red inside, and it was ripe and sweet. So the young man took the wheelbarrow and he pushed it down the road, back to his farm, back to his home. It was late at night by that time. So he waited till the next morning. And the next morning, he took the fruit into the kitchen. And his father woke up and he said, "What are you doing?" And he watched at amazement as his son cut up the fruit and they ate it for breakfast. Then his son squeezed the fruit and they drank the juice. And with the skin of the fruit, he took it and fed the cows. The seeds of the fruits that he strained out when he squeezed it, he took the seeds and he planted them in the garden. His father was so proud of his son. "Brilliant, brilliant, my son. You shall inherit everything because you have shown me that you are wise by bringing me something to eat, something to drink, something to feed the cows, and something for the garden, the seeds for the garden, all with one coin." Now, who could tell me what that fruit was?
Watermelon.
Hey, who give it away?
Watermelon.
Apple.
Who gave it away? Do you know? Did everyone guess?
Apple.
Huh?
Green
Orange.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. Since you guessed so easily, do you think there's a way I could tell this story and not describe the fruit to make it harder to guess?
All the fruits.
Huh?
All the fruits.
Do you think, how did you guess it was a watermelon? Because I said it was round and green?
Yes.
No, I just guessed it because you drink watermelon juice, you eat the watermelon, then you plant the watermelon, and then they feed the cows the green part of the watermelon. So I just guessed it.
Well, you won. You won the basket of mango, but you have to share it with everybody.
Yeah.
Very good. Give him a big hand. Very good. Excellent day. Excellent day. So, what are we doing next? I think that's my time because I had stories, poems in my head. Guess what I can do? I have stories, poems in my head. I think I told some of them to you. All right. Where are we going next? That's it for my stories. I have one little poem I wrote. Because I'm from America, I guess some of you have heard of Martin Luther King, right? Did you ever learn about Martin Luther King?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I have a little book of poetry, and my book of poetry is called Real Tales of Rhymes and Reasons. And I wrote a poem for my son because I thought my son didn't really understand about Martin Luther King. And this is called I Dreamt. And I have it on YouTube. You can see the video if you go to Aunti Oni. Well, no, my YouTube channel is Oni Lasana Productions. And if you go there, you can see the video that I wrote to go with my poem. And it just shows you how you can write your poetry. You can make songs out of your poetry. You can make videos out of your poetry. And I'm just going to read a little bit for you, just the first stanza. And sometimes when I go to the schools, the children, they write poetry off of my poem. So it's called I Dreamt. I had a dream too, Martin Luther King Jr., that your dream came true. And people looked inside of me, not at the shape or size of me, not at the color or style of me. They looked at my inner reality, not the outside fantasy. I had a dream too, that your dream came true. And Marcus Garvey wasn't ridiculed and called a fool. James Meredith walked to school alone. Malcolm wasn't murdered by his own, and Miss Rosa enjoyed her bus ride home. Medgar Evers wasn't murdered in his driveway. Mumia wasn't guilty of protecting his life in defense of us. Tupac was representing the best of us. Rodney King wasn't beaten alive in front of us. And Marvin Gaye was asking me what's going on. I dreamt your dream came true, Minister King, and in concrete jungles everywhere, sons and daughters of criminals and sons and daughters of righteous folks were sitting at a table together, learning and teaching one another to read and to love. I dreamt your dream came true. Martin Luther King Jr. Some of it you wouldn't really understand unless you knew a lot about American culture. But I like the first stanza, don't you? People looked inside of me, not at the shape or size of me, not at the color or style of me. They looked at my inner reality, not the outside fantasy. So I like that one. So that's it for Aunti Oni Story Village. It's been a pleasure to be with you all. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to stick around to listen to, I think I've done almost an hour. I didn't mean to go so long. I'm glad you enjoyed the stories and the songs, and I hope I can come back again. And I'm going to stick around because I want to hear you tell stories. So I'm going to stay up till 2:00. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I can hear your stories.
Yeah, thank you, Auntie Oni. Your musical storytelling lifts mere dialogue into the realm of poetry. What a fantastic communicative link. Thank you once again. Children, do you have any questions that you would like to ask Aunti Oni? Any questions related to storytelling?
Ma'am, I want to know the YouTube channel name, ma'am.
It's Oni, O-N-I, Lasana. See my name on the screen? Productions, Productions. And you, on my YouTube channel, you'll get to see I did some laughter yoga with the children at the library in Trinidad and Tobago. And I have one fun little boy. He's East Indian because East Indians live in Tobago and Trinidad. And he is so funny. You're going to get a kick out of him. He's really great. He's one of my favorite students in the after school program in Tobago at the library. I see some more hands.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I see some more hands, but Deep Tiki, any more questions? I need you to monitor it, the teacher.
Yes.
Can you call the students' names? Can you call the students' names for me, please?
I actually forgot to unraise my hand.
Divya of 6D, you want to say something? Divya?
Ishan?
Yes, ma'am. Aunti
I
Oni,
see hands up.
Aunti Oni, actually, I was born in America too.
Really? Where? Which part?
Yes, in Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Oh, yeah.
But I was raised for 5 years in New Jersey.
Oh, well, I'm very near New Jersey. New Jersey is, Pennsylvania is right near New Jersey. Which part of New Jersey?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. It's been a long time.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
So you're back, you're back home? Your parents decide to come back home?
Yeah, my parents decided to come back home to India.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. New Jersey is, I would leave, I would come to India too if I lived in New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's not so hot there.
That's true.
Any other questions? I'm told I'm going to.
Actually,
Yes?
I was just wondering how you, because most of the time, when I tell stories, they're just mostly like I keep saying and all those filler words. So how do you avoid telling those filler words?
That's a good question because a lot of people go, that's a really good question. See, I'm doing it now. That is a good question because what you should do is practice telling your story as slow as you can. People think you have to go fast. Sometimes it's good to just pause and practice your storytelling it slow. Because instead of going, you can just have a dramatic pause. So you see, sometimes when I was telling, I just have a dramatic pause. And it's like you're thinking, because usually when you say, it's because you might not, you feel like you won't remember what you want to say next. But the slower you go in practicing your story, it'll stick in your mind a little bit more. And instead of saying, you just pause. You just pause. Try it. And try practicing your story at a slower pace. Once you get it at a slower pace, then you can always speed it up later. So it's all in how you rehearse your story, whether or not you're gonna say, and one thing I like to say, and sometimes when I'm working with children, I say, and then, instead of them going, I have them go, and then, And then what happened? You know, sometimes we tell stories in the round, and then, you know, and so I would say, yeah, practice telling your story slower and you can always pick up the rhythm later. And if you feel like you're going to say, don't say, just be quiet. Just pause it. Did that answer your question?
Okay.
That give you an idea,
Yeah,
right?
I did completely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
You broke up. What did he say? What did he say?
Rishi, please repeat.
Any other questions?
Actually, I think my
Any other questions? Well, I hear that we're going to have some storytellers. I hear that there's some storytellers who are here listening to me, and I want to hear a couple of your stories.
Yes, we do. We do, Auntie Oni. Just a minute.
Okay.
Yuva Bharati Public School quotes, enhance your skills with us now. And this is a testimony of the fact that they are here with AceNation. To begin with, let's all listen to the voice of Mrityunjay Krishna from grade 7.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mrityunjay Krishna. I'm of 7th grade and I'm going to recite a story called Doctor, Doctor by Sudha Murthy. One scorching summer afternoon, an thirsty old man spotted a small grocery store. It had a little roof made of tin and walls of mud. The old man sat on a bench next to the store. The shopkeeper, Ravi, had been swatting away flies till then. "Give me water," the old man yelled. Ravi was confused by the old man's behavior. The village already had been facing a drought for the past 2 years and were making up with the lack of water using a faraway stream. So nobody wanted to waste or part even a single drop of water. But who could deny a plea from a thirsty old man? Ravi, who happened to be kind-hearted, poured a tumbler of water from his pot and handed it to the old man. The old man drank it up greedily. "More," the old man yelled. Awaiting no response from Ravi, the old man grabbed Ravi's pot and drank it up fully. But what could poor, kind-hearted Ravi do? Nothing. He just stood there in distress. The old man immediately felt energetic. He smiled at Ravi and said, "My son, always help everyone who comes this way and you will be blessed." After the old man left Ravi's shop, the afternoon seemed to have gotten hotter. Ravi's forehead began to ache. He really needed a glass of water. Ravi decided he would coax the final few drops of water from his pot. When he tilted it, to his ultimate surprise, a gush of water flooded his face. It was cool and refreshing and cured his headache too. He also offered some water to Karim, who was his neighbor and had come to the shop at that time. Karim had a limp in his leg because he had an accident many years ago. When Ravi handed the pot to Karim, it was once again filled to the brim. Karim looked better as he hopped away from Ravi's shop. Though flabbergasted by his ever-brimming pot, Ravi felt happy and fell asleep. That afternoon, Karim woke up Ravi from his nap. "Brother, we need your help. Fatima's down with fever," Karim said. "Then why are you here? Go to a doctor then," Ravi said. "Ravi, your pot of water cured my limp. Now you can cure Fatima's fever," Karim said. Ravi was astonished. "Am I a magical doctor?" As Karim predicted, Ravi's pot of water cured Fatima's fever. News spread like a wildfire. People all over the village came to Ravi with a problem and walked home cured. Ravi never charged anyone. He treated everyone for free. One day, like every other, a queue of people were waiting outside Ravi's shop. But a man came running. "My landlord is ill. Come and help him," the man said. Ravi was confused, but his response was firm. "Ask your landlord to come here. There is a queue of people waiting." The man sniggered. How much money will you make from this whole queue? A few rupees? Come to my landlord's house. He will shower you with gifts. Ravi's mind slowly began to fill with greed. He charged all of his customers. He never treated anyone for free. After a few months, an old man, not dissimilar to the one who had come before, came by. He too yelled, "Water." At the same time came the king's messenger. "The queen has been bitten by a mosquito. Come quickly," the man said. "Water," the old man yelled once again. "Come quickly," the messenger repeated. Ravi thought for some time. There was an old man who might not be the same person who handed him the magic pot. Then he imagined himself being showered with golden trinkets and diamond jewels if he cured the queen. He was now clear. He ignored the old man and went to the palace. When he tilted the pot over the queen's hand, nothing happened. He tilted it once more and gave it a good shake, but the pot was as dry as a bone. The king was annoyed and banished him from the palace. Ravi then reflected on his mistakes. Every time the pot only worked when he wasn't a greedy businessman, but when he was a concerned person. Ravi smiled to himself and continued to run his little shop. What do we learn from this? Whenever we have an opportunity to help someone, we should feel privileged and not entitled. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrityunjay, for the excellent narration. Aunti Oni, may we have you to give the feedback?
Oh, that was a beautiful story with such a lovely message. It was such a lovely message, and he's an excellent reader. Did you write the story?
It was actually written by Mrs. Sudha Murthy, but to make it shorter, I rewrote it. Ma'am.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it.
Thank
Very,
you.
very, a good lesson. And you gave, I like how you gave the lesson at the end. It was lovely. Thank you so much. I can listen to one more. Where I am, it's almost 2:00 at night.
Yeah, next we have Arshia Suresh from grade 7.
Hi, I'm Ashik and I'm from grade 9. Okay. Today I'm going to tell you a story about lots of things. So let's get started. So in a big kingdom called Kansas, there was a very beautiful girl. She was really intelligent, but she was poor. And then her wits were spoken of all through the kingdom until finally the king heard of her intelligence. And the king wanted a queen who was very wise. So he decided to marry that poor girl. He invited the poor girl to his court and asked her if she wanted to marry him. And then she said, "I am poor and we may not be happy. So if one day, if you decide to send me back to my father's house, you should allow me to take with me something which is most dear to me." And the king agreed because all he wanted was an intelligent wife. So he married the poor girl and they lived happily for many years until one day the king thought that his queen was not caring about him at all. So he called her and said, "You are only aware of your beautiful jewels and all your pretty dresses, and you're not even caring about me. You're not even talking to me these days. So just go back to your father's house." And the girl, who was very sad, said, "Okay, my king, but one day you promised me that when you send me back to my father's house, I can take back with me whatever is most dear to me." And the king said, "Whatever, take whatever you want and just get out of my palace." He was not a good king. I'm sure you know that. So the king said that, and she said, "I want to have a last dinner with you." The king agreed, and they had a nice dinner. At the end of the dinner, the queen gave the king a drink with some sleeping potion inside. And the king fell asleep immediately after he had that drink. And when he fell asleep, the queen called some servants to come and take him away to her father's house. The king woke up later on and was shocked to find himself in some poor, rugged house. So he woke up and said, "Where am I? What is going on here?" And the queen came beside him and said, "My king, you had promised me that I could take home with me whatever is most dear to me on the day that you send me back to my father. You are the person who is the most dear to me." The king, who heard that, was overjoyed to have such an intelligent wife, and he decided that she was going to be the only woman in his life and took her back to the palace, and they lived happily ever after for many, many years. Thank you.
Wow, Arshia, we are really left astounded. Thank you. Yes, Auntie Oni?
I love the twist. That was a real twist to that story. I love that twist because I didn't think she was going to pick him. So that was a great twist. Did you write that story?
No, Auntie, actually, I had read it in one of my old bedtime storybooks.
Yeah.
I just love reading, and I read it in one of my books.
Oh, it was well done. Well done. I love the story. And you told it really well. I like the little twist to the story. It's a good ending. I like the happy ending. She chose him, even though she didn't treat him very well. Thank you. I love it.
Yeah. Next, we have Avantika Yadav from grade 12.
Good morning to everyone present here. First off, Auntie Oni, I'm pretty sure everybody loved your stories over here and we can't wait to hear more. Okay, so I'm Avantika and I'll be telling a story called Clever Gretel. It's from the Grimm's Fairy Tales, the same book from which you read Snow White and Cinderella. So this is how the story goes. Once upon a time, there was a cook whose name was Gretel. She was a very happy soul and thought of herself as a pretty girl. She would
Avantika, excuse us. Can you please be a little louder? Speak a little louder. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
can you hear me now? Okay, ma'am. So one day, her master said to her, "Gretel, I have a guest coming tonight. Get 2 fine chickens ready." "Very good, sir," answered Gretel. As evening approached, she put the chickens on the fire to broil. The chickens began to sizzle and turn brown, but still the guest hadn't arrived. So the master himself went to fetch the guest. The roasted chicken smelled so good that Gretel thought to herself, I should just make sure these chickens are quite all right. I think they should be tasted." Well, we all know Gretel. She ate one wing, then the other, and ended up finishing the entire chicken. The chicken was extremely tempting, so she made excuses and started eating the second one too. But as she was in the middle of feasting, her master came back and said, "Hurry up, Gretel, my guest will be here directly." "Very good, sir," answered Gretel. "I'll get it ready." Meanwhile, the master looked to see if the table was properly laid, took the big knife with which he was going to carve the fowls to sharpen it on a stone outside. The guest in the meantime had come and knocked politely and courteously at the door. Gretel ran to see who was there, and when she saw the guest, put her finger to her lips and said, "Shh, keep quiet and make haste to get out of here. If my master catches you, you will be the worse for it. It's true he has invited you for supper, but only to cut off both your ears. Just listen, he's sharpening the knife now." The guest heard the noise of a knife being sharpened and ran out of the house as fast as he could. Gretel was not idle either, but ran screaming to her master. "Indeed, it's a fine guest you've invited." "Why, Gretel? What do you mean?" "He has just taken both the chickens. I was about to serve them from the platter when he snatched them away and ran off with them." That's just like him, said the master, feeling sorry about the loss of his fine falls. If only he had left me one, at least there would be something for me to eat. He shouted after the guest to stop, but the latter pretended not to hear. Then he ran after him with a carving knife still in his hand, crying, only one, meaning that the guest should leave him one chicken and not take both. However, the guest thought he meant he should give up only one of his ears and rushed headlong through the streets as if the devil were after him, intending to get both his ears safely home.
What a cool, fantastic storyteller you are, Avantika. Yes, Auntie Oni?
That was a great adventure story. I loved it. It was really adventure. It kept my interest to know what was going to happen. And I think I remember that is a Grimm's tale, but you told it very well. And I like how you kept it moving. And it's a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing that story. It was really good.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed it. I'm going to have to learn that story because I like it a lot. We have to share stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie. Next, we have Snigdha from grade 11.
Am I audible?
Yes, dear.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm Snigdha of grade 11, and today I'm going to narrate the story, The Hand by Guy de Maupassant. So, I was at that time a judge at Dajjashi, a little white city on the edge of a bay which is surrounded by high mountains. One day, I learned that an Englishman had just hired a little villa at the end of the bay for several years. He had brought with him a French servant whom he had engaged in the way to Marseille. Soon, this peculiar person, living alone, only going out to hunt and fish, aroused a widespread interest. He never spoke to anyone, never went to the town, and every morning he would practice for an hour or so with his revolver and rifle. Legends were built up around him. It was said that he was some high personage, fleeing from his fatherland for political reasons. Then it was affirmed that he was in hiding after having committed some abominable crime. Some particularly horrible circumstances would have been mentioned. In my judicial position, I thought it necessary to get some information about this man, but it was impossible to learn anything. He called himself Sir John Rowe. He was a big man with red hair and beard, very tall, very broad, a kind of calm and polite Hercules. He had nothing of the so-called British stiffness, and in a broad English accent, he thanked me warmly for my attention. At the end of a month, we had 5 or 6 conversations. One night at last, as I was passing before his door, I saw him in the garden, seated astride a chair, smoking his pipe. I bowed, and he invited me to come in and have a glass of beer. I needed no urging. Then, with great caution and under the guise of a vivid interest, I asked him a few questions about his life and his plans, which he answered honestly. Then I turned the conversation to hunting, and he gave me the most curious details on hunting the hippopotamus, the tiger, the elephant, and even the gorilla. I said, "Are all these dangerous animals?" He smiled. "Oh no, man is the worst." Then he began to talk about weapons, and he invited me to come in and see different makes of guns. In the middle of the widest pan, a strange thing attracted my attention. A black object stood out against a square of red velvet. I went up to it. It was a hand, a human hand. Not the white hand of a skeleton, but a dried black hand with yellow nails, the muscles exposed, and traces of old blood on the bones, which were cut off as though it had been chopped off with an axe near the middle of the forearm. Around the wrist, an enormous iron chain, riveted and soldered to this unclean member, fastened it to the wall by a ring, strong enough to hold an elephant in leash. I asked, "What is that?" The Englishman answered quietly, "That is my worst enemy. It comes from America too." I touched these human remains, which must have belonged to a giant. This hand was terrible to see. It made one think of some savage vengeance. I said, "This man must have been very strong." The Englishman answered quietly, "Yes, but I was stronger than he. I put on this chain to hold him." I thought that he was joking. I said, This chain is useless now. The hand won't run away. Sir John Rowell answered seriously. It always wants to go away. The chain is needed. I glanced at him quickly, questioning his face, and I asked myself, is he an insane man or a practical joker? But his face remained inscrutable, calm and friendly. A whole year rolled by. One morning, towards the end of November, my servant awoke me and announced that Sir John Rowell had been murdered during the night. Half an hour later, I entered the Englishman's house together with the police commissioner and the captain of the gendarmes. On entering Sir John's parlor, I noticed the body stretched out on its back in the middle of the room. His vest was torn. The sleeve of his jacket had been pulled off. Everything pointed to a violent struggle. The Englishman had been strangled. His face was black, swollen, and frightful, and seemed to express a terrible fear. He held something between his teeth. A cold chill seemed to run down my back, and I looked over to where I had formerly seen the terrible hand. It was no longer there. The chain was hanging down, broken. I bent over the dead man, and in his contracted mouth, I found one of the fingers of this vanished hand. Then the investigation began. Nothing could be discovered. No door, window, or piece of furniture had been forced. The two watchdogs had not been aroused from their sleep. A few days later, the hand was brought to me, found in the cemetery on the grave of Sir John. The first finger was missing. Ladies, this is my story. I know nothing more. The women, deeply stirred, were pale and trembling. One of them exclaimed, "But this is neither a climax nor an explanation. We will be unable to sleep unless you give us an opinion of what had occurred." The judge smiled severely. "Oh, ladies, I should certainly spoil your terrible dreams. I simply believe that the legitimate owner of the hand was not dead, that he came to get it with his remaining one. But I don't know how. It was a kind of vendetta. One of the women murdered." "No, it cannot be that." And the judge, still smiling, said, "Didn't I tell you that my explanation would not satisfy you?" Thank you.
That was amazing. And you were so natural. Thank you so much. Auntie Oni, I know it's 2 a.m. for you, and
Yes,
you must be really, really sleepy. But
that was a thriller. That was a thriller. Well read. That was a thriller. I was going to leave, but then I had to stay to see what was going to happen, and that was some thriller. Well read, and you're just so articulate, and the story is like scary too. So
Yeah.
mystery, suspense. It's like watching one of those old Sherlock Holmes murder mysteries come to life. Thank you too. I have to go, children. Bye-bye. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
all right, we'll send you the feedback, Auntie Oni.
All right. Love you guys. Take
Bye,
care.
ma'am.
I'll
Bye,
see the video.
Oni, just hold on for 1 minute. Major?
Huh?
Oni, just hold on for a minute. 1 minute. Major,
Yes,
could you just thank Oni?
yes, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Oni. Auntie Oni is going to be an household name in India. It was such an entertaining session today.
Thank you.
Have you recently cut any albums? You're a wonderful singer. You reminded me
Oh,
of
I know.
Sesame Street.
I
days.
do. I have a CD.
Oh, great.
I do. I have a poetry CD. It's called Sister Wings, Sister Wings, and it's
Okay.
spoken word. And you can get it. It's on all the platforms. Sister Wings, and it has that Martin Luther King poem in it, and it has poetry. I recite poetry over music. So it's a CD. It's called Sister Wings. So if you just Google Oni Lasana, it should come up. But I hope one day to visit you live too. It would be wonderful. When the COVID is over and people are traveling, I'll see if me and my husband can come and visit one day.
Definitely. AceNation would love to have you.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Nina. Thank you and Bobby
Thank you.
for finding me and bringing me with these children today. They're beautiful children. They're intelligent. And it's just a milestone in my storytelling career to be here and to share the stories and have fun with you guys. Thank you again.
Real privilege having you.
All right. Take care.
Good night.
Yes.
Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, Auntie Oni. Bye.
Bye. Love you guys. Love you guys.
See you again. Have a good day, ma'am.
Bye. Have a good
Yes,
day.
you do. Love you. Love you. Keep laughing.
Yeah.
Hi.
And children,
Hi.
don't leave. We have more. There's a lot more in store. So please stay back.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we have Janani from grade 11.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, dear.
Good morning, everybody present here. I'm Janani of grade 11A, here to narrate a story about the stolen pearl. Once upon a time, there lived two dogs in a lake. They were very good friends.
Janani,
Yes, ma'am.
can you be a little louder, please? It's very feeble. Your voice is very feeble.
Yes, ma'am.
Speak a little louder. Thank
Once
you.
upon a time, there lived two dogs in a lake. They were very good friends. One day, the dogs found a pearl. They were amazed by its wonderful glitter. One day, two frogs came to the lake. They chanced to see the dog playing with the pearl. That looks precious, said the frog. Early next morning, when the dogs were fast asleep, the wicked frog stole away their pearl. When the dogs woke up from the sleep, they thought, oh, somebody has stolen our pearl. They cried. I have a plan, said one of the dogs. Let's spread a rumor that the pearl benefits only the white creatures. The next day, when a rabbit came to the lake to drink water, the dog told him the same. Do you know the pearl benefits only the white creatures? Asked the rabbit to the deep. Traveling from mouth to ear, the news reached the teeth. If we are not white, the pearl will not benefit us, they thought. Quick, let's become white. And the frogs painted themselves white. The other animals of the forest were quite surprised to see the frogs in white. The next day, the rabbit went and told the duck about the strange white frog. We have got the thief! The duck quacked instantly and immediately went and caught the frog. The frog had to apologize to the duck and promise never to steal again. Hence, the moral of the story is not to steal from others. Thank you.
Thank you, Janani, for the wonderful sharing. Nina, ma'am.
Yeah. Janani, you're such a lovely storyteller and you're so it came so naturally to you. Thank you so much for accepting to tell a story on AceNation's platform. We really enjoyed it. Major?
Yes. Thank you. Janani, that was wonderful. You know, you were so articulated, like your expression, the actions. Fantastic storyteller. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Dhruv. Dhruv from grade 9.
Hi, my name is Dhruv. So I'm going to narrate a story, and the name of the story, it's a short story. The name of the story is The Bone in the Throat. Once upon a time, there was a lazy wolf living in the jungle. Near his house was a pond. Many animals came to the pond to drink water. The wolf was always in search of food. One day, he was sitting near the pond hoping to get something to eat, when suddenly he spotted a dead bull. Aha, what a luck. Now I can eat all I want, he thought, and his mouth started watering. He began to eat the bull. A thought struck him. If another beast comes this way, he'll ask for a share. I better eat fast. Grub, 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 grub. He chewed faster and faster. In his haste, a piece of bone got stuck in his throat. Oh, he cried the wolf. He tried to bring it out of his mouth. He tried to cough it out, but in vain. Next, he tried to swallow it down, but he failed. Oh, the bone in the throat hurts. What shall I do now? Thought the wolf. Suddenly, he remembered that a crane lived on the nearby riverbank. The wolf went to the crane and pleaded, "My dear crane, I've got a bone stuck in my throat. I will give you a present if you pull it out of my throat with your long beak." The crane took pity on the wolf. He asked the wolf to look up with his mouth open. The crane then put its head into the wolf's mouth and pulled out the bone. "Oh, what a relief," the wolf sighed. "Now, where is my present?" asked the crane. "What present?" the wolf replied, pretending not aware of its promise. "You said that you would give me a present if I remove the bone out of your throat," said the crane humbly. "Ha! It's not a present that I put your head in. It's not a present that you put your head into my mouth and got out alive. I could have easily crushed your head while your beak was inside my mouth," said the ungrateful wolf and went away. The crane felt helpless and decided not to help any ungrateful creature in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhruv. And you have exceeded every expectation of ours. Yes, Neil?
I like the way you were, very smilingly told the story. Thank you so much. Though it was short, it was such a lovely story. Thank you, Dhruv.
Thank you, ma'am.
Major?
Yes. Drew, that was lovely. It seems that you were hungrier than the wolf. You said it so fast. How did the wolf eat? The sound that you make? The hungry wolf.
Yeah.
Can you make that sound? How did he eat the grain fast?
Grr, 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 grr.
Great storyteller. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And just before we move on to the award ceremony, we have the feedback session. Let's listen to what Yuva Bharati has to say. We could begin with Nathan.
Nathan?
Oh. Yes, ma'am. The session was very nice and fun to hear Aunti Oni's stories and songs. I like the song where that song Ubuntu. It was very nice and the story was very nice. I like that song and I wish I could sing it and practice that song too. This session was very enjoyable and fun to be in it.
Nathan, would you like AceNation to bring more stories to you?
Yes, ma'am.
You do? Okay. And you enjoyed the session today? You got to like storytelling?
Yes,
you did? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, then we have Pooja.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Pooja of grade 11 B2. And first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank AceNation and Aunti Oni to have truly opened our eyes to the art of storytelling. I think this session has been wonderful, filled with laughter, happiness, learning, and so much more. And it's been an absolute privilege of us to have been a part of, to have experienced and heard these wonderful stories. I think for me personally, it's been an experience of a lifetime. Thank you so much.
Pooja, for us at AceNation too, this has been an experience of a lifetime. Your Yuva Bharati's come across as such a wonderful school, lovely children, so disciplined, proud of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Thank you. AceNation will actually do more for you. We bring a lot of stories. I'll tell you a little more about AceNation afterwards, but thank you so much for that feedback. The next
Priya?
one, Vijay?
Priya?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It was a pleasure to attend this session today. Thank you so much for the funful and engrossing session. We undoubtedly enjoyed and learned a lot. I would like to thank Aunti Oni, AceNation, and Team Yuva for presenting us with this lovely forum. We will be awaiting for more such sessions. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Yeah, we
and you
have
energized us too.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Vijay, you can continue.
Yeah, we have a few teachers as well. Ms. Anushka, Ms. Nivetha.
Hello all. So firstly, I would like to thank ACE Innovation for bringing us this session. It was really, really interesting. And I must say, Aunti Oni has taken us to a whole new world of storytelling. And I'm sure children will take it forward. And we're hoping to see a lot more storytellers in the coming days. Thank you, ACE Innovation, for such a wonderful session.
Good morning, all. A special thank you to Team ACE Innovation and Aunti Oni. We had a wonderful time. During times like these, it is where you don't get to physically see each other a lot. So this was very fun-filled and energetic, right? And I think I could see all the kids having fun throughout. So thank you for that. And we look forward to more of story time from you. Thank you.
You know, teachers make that difference to any school. And you were Bharati, you teachers, the ones who were there and maybe the ones working behind, including Geeta ma'am and the others. Thank you so much because, you know, you've been solid support to ACE Innovation. Thank you. We have more in store for you too.
Thank you, ma'am. ACE Innovation never skips the chance to say good job, for it helps every unique child establish a sense of confidence as well as zeal. Now we have Ms. Bhavna and Garima to do the awards.
A very pleasant morning to each one of you present here. The stories that you have told have certainly motivated all of us. Now, it's time to give you a huge round of applause to each one of you for making us listen to all these amazing stories. Let's begin. The first one that we have the first one that we have is Avantika Yadav. Avantika, we all congratulate you for telling stories that left impact on our minds. So congratulations. I would like everybody to give Avantika a huge round of applause. Yeah. Then we have Arshia Suresh. Congratulations, Arshia.
Ma'am?
Then we have Dhruv Sambasivan. Dhruv, many congratulations for having that spark in your story and for giving us such a good time.
Thank you.
Then we have Janani B. Janani, the story was so full of life, and we thank you for helping us garner all the things properly into a proper setting that you told us. Thank you. Then we have Mrityunjay Krishna R. And Mrityunjay, it was an amazing story. And we really appreciate the way that you can convey the message along with not losing the theme of the story. That is quite commendable. Yeah. Last but not the least, we have Snigdha SK. Snigdha, many congratulations for the story. And the honesty, the promising, the narration and the voice modulation, everything just made us, so it was so listenable. We were vouching for more. So I congratulate each and every student who contributed to the storytelling session. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Garima. Nina ma'am, may we have you to say a few words?
Yes. Yuva Bharati, thank you so much. All the 5 storytellers, Avantika, Mrityunjay, Arshia, Janani, Snigdha, and Dhruv, you really made a difference. And not only 5, we want more. There were 81 participants today. All 81 are welcome to tell stories. You all are eligible and there's no registration fee. So you can just register at www.worldstorytellingchampionship.com and take part
Ma'am,
in
the
the
link
world.
is not opening, ma'am.
It just try it once again. It will open definitely. Okay, so check out the store, the spelling.
Go inside the link.
Yes, go into the website and you can register, right? And you don't have to. There is no cost involved. If you all have any problem, we'll just give you our phone numbers. You can contact us. We tell you what to do, right? Now, AceNation, like today's program, we set benchmarks. Like, you know, this is one of the best programs and one of the best storytelling organizations in the world. We are the best, and we bring to you the best. We at AceNation are born from stories. We create stories, we mingle into stories and have become a story. This wonderful young story called AceNation brings you stories and storytellers from all corners of the earth. And we've also, for the very first time in the world, brought the World Storytelling Championship. Therefore, we would love to have the winner. It would be very nice if the winner's crown from Yuva Bharati, wouldn't it? Yeah. So all of you and all of us are very good storytellers. So please do join in, register. And not only that, we have courses on storytelling, we have workshops, we have training modules, we have a lot of things, a lot of fun activities which happens every week. So please join in, register, go into the website, have a look at it, contact us at any time. We have lots and lots in store. Thank you so much, Yuva Bharati. Thank you.
Doubt, ma'am.
Vijay?
And what means we should go compulsory go into the link and
Yes.
we should join it.
Yes.
We should compulsory register our name.
If you register, it's good for you. You'll have a lot of fun because you know the finals, if everything goes out well, the finals maybe in Singapore or in Australia. So we have a lot of prizes, right? And on the way, you'll have a lot of fun. There are a number of students who've joined us and they've been with us since January, and they've had so many lovely sessions like what you had today. They've really enjoyed, and so we would love to see many more of you from Yuva Bharati. Okay, I'm just putting in my number. You can contact me if you have any doubts.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we have Major Rajan, founder and CEO AceNation Singapore, to give the closing remarks.
Thank you, Vijay. That was such a joyful day today. You know, Aunti Oni made it really fun. And it's a real privilege to have Yuva Bharati join us today. I would like to thank the principal, the teachers for the lovely support that you all gave. This is such a disciplined children or other students, and you all are great storytellers. I think each one of you is a story of Yuva Bharati. You know, you can tell the story of Yuva Bharati. You can see real talent in all of you. And today's session was fabulous. We really enjoyed, you know. We're just feeling sad that it ended very fast. And it was 2:30 a.m. already. If not, she would have continued for another half an hour maybe. Thank you, all of you, for great support. Looking forward to seeing you all in the World Championship. Feel free to participate. And it is the first ever World Championship, and you guys have a very good chance of winning some prizes. Thank you.
Yes, somebody's asked a question saying we have the sessions every week. Yes, we do. We have a lot of interesting things like we have Halloweens. Have you ever celebrated Halloweens?
No, ma'am.
You could if you would join us. We are organizing something very exciting for you. October 31st is a Sunday. So try and join us. Diwali, after Diwali, maybe November 10th, we have a program for you. And then we will let you, Anupriya ma'am is in touch with us. So we will definitely let us know. Thanks, Anupriya, for being such a wonderful, coordinator in coordinating this whole thing. Thank you so much. And also Sindhu. Thank you. And your principal, Geeta ma'am, thank you so much. And yeah, so we are looking forward to having you at this workshop on the 31st of October. Lot of scary stories, lot of fun things to do. It's all related to Halloween and then a Diwali party later on.
Okay.
And the Diwali session, we will be having storytelling. We'll have children. You can make friends with some Norwegian children. You can make friends with some children from America. You can have friends from Canada and all different parts of the world. So come in, join the fun. Okay?
Ma'am, timings?
Looking forward. Timings we'll let you know. We'll keep sending the school information. Anupriya ma'am, we have your numbers. We have her number. We'll send the information to the school. Otherwise, I have given you my number. I've also given you our website. All details will be up in the website, and you just call me and find out. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
I put my
Thank you,
number
ma'am.
in the chat.
Thank you,
you.
Tina ma'am. Thank you
Hey,
so
once
much.
again,
And children,
Thank you.
definitely we can take it forward. Okay, if you have any clarifications, please do approach us. We will be able to help you
Yes.
out. Okay, Drama and Literary
Yes.
Club is all about helping you achieve newer heights, and definitely we'll take it forward with Ace Novation. Thank you so much for the today's session,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you so much. We have our founder and CEO, Major Rajan. He sits at Singapore. So you can thank him also from all of us.
Okay, thank you so much, Major. It was something totally different for all of us, and I think it gives a wonderful platform to get exposed to international children, and they get to learn so much from them also. So it's a great way to reach out to other people in other parts of the country. Thank you so much, Major.
thank you, Miss Anupriya. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure bringing this to all of you. I'm so happy that all of you are really benefited out of this, can see the expression, see the joy. We would like to give you more and plenty more coming in 2022 as well. Thank you.
Yeah, and anytime you want to listen to stories, you just contact us. Tell Anupriya ma'am, contact us. We bring to you stories. We are ready to do anything for you, Bharati. You've been such a wonderful set of students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Vijay. Thank you.
We have done more than 200 over storytelling from different parts of the world. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team Inspiration. Thank you,
Children,
Vijay,
you may
for
leave, children. You may log off.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Have a
Bye
good
bye.
day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye,
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.